today completely got away from me. And I know you're probably thinking like, oh, Keller, you just got back from, being out and about, which is why you have your coat on. No, I have to wear a coat in this room because it gets so cold unless I run the space heater. And space heater is just money out the door, so we're going to heat the person right now. But it's so cold in here in the morning when I come in. I have to figure this out because this room is freezing cold in the winter and boiling hot in the summer because it's really a porch, like a, what do you call it, a 4-season porch, I guess, because it is insulated. It's just got like 20 windows in here. It's all windows. So it's a greenhouse in the summer and an ice box in the winter because as energy efficient as these windows might be, it's not a wall. Yeah, I am really trying to solve the conundrum of how to stay motivated for running through the winter. And my buddy John is a pretty avid year-round running guy, or just general outside activity guy. And so I'm taking his suggestion in running through the winter as not on the roads, but instead trail running. So it's a good path for me to go down just because there's so much trailage just around the area to explore. And roads, when it gets really snowy and icy, just become dangerous for so many factors. One, cars are just dangerous in the winter on ice and snow, obviously. It's dangerous for your slippery little feet on the ice and snow on the road in the winter. And then obviously if you have a big snowstorm, which usually we do, starting in like January for at least 2 or 3 months, we'll get these periodic snowstorms. And a lot of times you get these perma ice, like frost heaves, these big snow piles from the plows on either side of the road. So the little shoulder that you do have in a place like New Hampshire, where we have pretty limited sidewalks, you're running in the middle of the road. And so I guess the solution is instead to commit fully to running in, snow, hopefully on a trail that has been somewhat worn and packed down with snow. And even if not, you sort of, unless you have a giant dump of a snowstorm, you're able to handle it by putting some spikes on a set of shoes and just sort of doing kind of like a power hike run and keeping yourself in sort of zone 2 for, an 8 or 9 mile kind of go. But until the snow hits, it's also a great opportunity to switch things up because I am definitely bored. I'm not quite there, but I can see myself getting really close to being bored with road running in terms of like, I'm a guy who likes scenery. On top of that, I'm also somebody who likes to explore. And so the opportunity to explore all of these trails that have only, I used to explore a lot of New Hampshire all the time, but I was always looking for something that was really visually appealing in terms of historical significance or a view or something that would just pop on camera. But there's a lot of trails around New Hampshire and around this area in general that don't have any like true significance in terms of like, and here we are at this great summit, or here's this old house or this well, or here's this historical significance to the trail. They're just places where you go and enjoy the woods. And just in Amherst alone, there's 45 miles of trails to explore. And that's a pretty inspiring number and an inspiring fact to me. So I feel this sort of new rejuvenation, this new found potential of using this as a way to run some trails. There's even some trails right here in my home that or in my neighborhood that I'm pretty familiar with, and it also is a good opportunity to do some hill work, good opportunity to diversify the type of exertion that I'm doing, so it's not just dead running at this one pace for this long, but instead, you're running an uphill, maybe you're hiking, power hiking, maybe you're running it downhill, you're stepping, your legs are walking over, all that stuff is just constant variability to your workout, which I think just makes you a stronger, not only runner, but just a general athlete, because it forces you to sort of constantly be working on your balance. It's not a linear exertion. It has rises and falls, peaks, and then on top of that, there's an opportunity to explore and to make video content that is at least more interesting than for you to have to watch me run the same roads, the same, I mean, how many times can you really make a neighborhood interesting? But I'd like to maybe come along and document the journey of exploring some of these trails. And if you live in the area, like I know a lot of you do, hopefully you find that interesting as well. So I have got a few little pieces of gear. I took advantage of some of the Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals that are happening to get just a few items. I've also just been working on building up my techniques for staying warm, and I use the word warm loosely because really I'm a very sweaty person. And so in the wintertime, that can become very dangerous. It's not necessarily about how do you stay warm. It's about how do I stay dry? And that's a whole philosophy that's very different than, just putting on a bunch of sweatshirts and coats. So I'm developing that a little bit. So more, I'll talk more about that. I hope that this becomes something that I can share with you regularly. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be doing a lot of road running. I need to be doing a lot of road running. I did officially sign up for the marathon here in April. April 5th is going to be the day of the marathon. It is the cheap marathon put on by Millennium Running. It is a down and back or multiple down and backs on the Londonderry Recreation Trail, or I guess it is technically a rail trail. And so it's very simple, flat, and fast course. It is technically a Boston qualifier too, and it's cheap. I mean, it's the cheap marathon for a reason. I got it after a sale or like a promo code. I got it for $60, which is pretty good because a lot of times you can pay anywhere from 120 to 180 and up for a full marathon, depending on the event and the significance of the event. So that, I don't know if you just heard, that was the sound of a 2 terabytes transferring from a solid state to a traditional spinning hard drive, which takes a very long time. I am very, boy, have I been spoiled by solid state drives in recent years. They're just so much faster. So that's, my update. Sorry, I don't have much footage for you. Hopefully tomorrow you can join me on what I'm hoping is my first document. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've run on trails before, but this will be the first time that I'm going out with the explicit thing of not looking for a flat trail. I'm looking to just go do somewhere new. So I'm looking at Horse Hill Nature Preserve in Merrimack. Pretty popular spot. There's about a 4-mile loop that I plan on tackling tomorrow. Hopefully, weather abiding. I don't even know what the weather is tomorrow, but more importantly, time allowing, because I do have a busy work day tomorrow. So that's it.